Well then, ladies and gentlemen, you find me on a station near Worthing on the south coast of England, having just got off this wonderful southern region train from Southampton. Why am I here? Why is it raining? I will explain everything to you after this. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, you might be wondering why I'm in Worthing. Well, I'm in Worthing to meet this gentleman, a Mr Nigel Sadler. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Welcome to the South Coast.
Thank you very much. We've come here today because the wonderful Jeff found the watch that he thought Nigel needed to own. So we're going to have a look at that in a minute. But for now, we're going to go for a walk along and get some coffee. Just want to look at this architecture. This is a beautiful building.
This is, yes, the arcade. Built on the site of one of Worthing's premier hotels that burnt down in 1900.
Really? Wow. We're going to have a look in here, ladies and gentlemen, at this arcade.
The Royal Arcade.
The Royal Arcade, no
1925.
1875?
1925.
Oh, 1925.
No, because the hotel that was here burnt down in 1901, I think.
Oh, when they replaced the hotel?
Yes, the
with
Marine
this?
Hotel, I think it was.
Okay. The Royal, okay.
No, maybe the Royal was it the Royal Hotel? No, the Marine Hotel was the one on the other side of the road. This was the Royal Hotel.
Okay.
This was the big posh one.
This is nice, isn't it? Look at the roof. I always like the arcade roofs. So, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff is rather fond of finding watches and finding watches for certain people who he thinks need a watch. And this gentleman fulfilled the category. So I'm here with a watch that's come all the way from America, and I'd like to hand that to you now. It's your watch.
Right, I've heard a lot about this. Jeff sent me pictures, sent me information. You know, these watches have their own website. They're so impressive. Oh my gosh. This is the back.
That's the front, I think. Or is it
The
the
front. Oh, I see. It's
engraved on both sides.
Right, that's amazing. The engraving on there is fantastic. So that's the front now then.
To push
I ought
that to open.
Yes. My father used to be a jeweller, so I ought to remember how to do this, but that was a long time ago. Way! Look at that.
Telling the correct time as well.
17 minutes to 5 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Splendid. That is amazing. Oh, well, exactly time too, because it's on 60 seconds. That is absolutely stunning.
They do make a nice tick, don't they?
That is a nice tick. She probably won't hear, but that is Jeff. You've excelled yourself. That is so good. I'm going to have to find a decent chain to put on it, which won't be that difficult, but
No.
I will definitely find something that's more in period. Now that is a beauty. I like things with a nice clear face, and having Arabic numerals versus the Roman numerals is a win for me. Wow, aren't I the lucky one? Thank you, Jeff.
I will just show you so you can see. Unfortunately, this isn't what we call an exhibition case, so you can't see the movement. But if you've got nails, you can put your nail in here and open that. Now there is an inner cover here, which you can very carefully put your nail behind again. There it goes. And if you open that,
Whoa,
that's the real beauty of the watch for me, the movement.
there we go. Its serial number and everything.
Serial number is in
All
there.
that, yeah.
I've got all the information about it. The Burlington watch was made by the Illinois Watch Company in 1910. And anybody watching this video will know that Jeff and I are Illinois fanboys. As you can see, it was part of a run of 1,000 watches. These would have been sold through the Sears catalogue. And in the year of its manufacture, you would have had to stump up $17, which doesn't sound a lot, but I will tell you that that is now worth, in today's money, $1,175. The Sears catalogue was a phenomenon which we don't even know about today hardly. It made Amazon look like a corner shop. In fact, here, from the same 1910 catalogue, is an advertisement for a house for just $1,533. And it is just an absolute beauty. I mean, I carry a watch with me all the time. This is mine. This is my 60 hour. As you can see, it's got what we call an exhibition back on it because I like looking at movements. It's my thing. I look at that.
That is lovely.
More than I look at that.
That is lovely. So my father, being in the jewellery trade, used to get, clocks and watches in all the time, usually broken ones. And I used to take home the mantelpiece clocks, things about this big, this sort of size. I used to take them apart. And sometimes I get them working again. And then from mantelpiece
was a good
clocks,
thing.
I moved down to alarm clocks. Sort of this big, and used to do the same with that. And from alarm clocks, I moved to these, and from these, I moved to wristwatches. And usually, I'd get all the parts back in again after I'd taken them apart, but
In
not
the right
every
order.
time. But yeah, more or less. But
Bit
not
like
every.
Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah.
The right parts, but not necessarily
There
the
was,
right order.
there was usually a couple of screws out.
Yeah.
But no, that was good fun, and that was my fascination for detail and modelling things.
Well, I have a promise.
Mechanical devices.
I have a subtle oath that I've made to Jeff that I will not break, and that is that my watch toolkit will never go near any of my railway watches. We have a lovely chap called Mohammed in London, who
Yes.
I can introduce you to if you don't have anybody down here, who is an absolute genius with these things and keeps them running nicely. Does all of our watches. So
That would be good. There were, because it's a long time since I've lived in Worthing, some jolly good watch repair people in town. But no, I mean, Mohammed seems absolutely amazing where he's based. Now that is very special. Thank you, Jeff.
absolutely, and that was Nigel getting his watch. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, we had a lovely coffee, and we've looked at the watch. And we were commenting, weren't we, how this period reminds us of like Jeeves and Worcester and that age where gentlemen dressed properly and knew how to look. And then we're just coming here and we walked past the Burlington Hotel, which just happens to be next door to where I'm staying, which isn't half as nice next door. And we're thinking Jeeves and Worcester. And then we saw Burlington Bertie, and you mentioned Burlington Bertie of Worthing.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, there was a dear chap in the 70s called Horace Duke who dressed up incredibly dapper, incredibly smartly. Used to have a bicycle, went to the main entrances to Worthing, the main roundabouts and crossroads that came into town, and just generally greeted and waved people in a very sort of Burlington Bertie style way. It was quite extraordinary. Not everybody was terribly enamoured with him, but he was always friendly and welcoming to all the visitors.
So, I'm really intrigued about this. So, as a little bit of an extra to this film, we're going to go and find where he used to stand, why he used to stand there, and you've actually seen him as a child, because this is where you were born, which is Goring, just behind us over there. So you saw him as a young
Yes, frequently.
Frequently.
He was always about on his bike in good weather.
Thank you. Let's go and find out. So, who was Horace Duke? What do we know about him? Well, strangely, not a lot. His name was Horace Albert Duke, and he was born on the 2nd of June 1923. As well as being known as Worthing's Burlington Bertie, he had a few other names given to him by the locals, such as the Major, Champagne Charlie, and Dapper Dan. He was believed to have worked on the Queen Mary as a pantry steward. I've not seen that confirmed anywhere. He was also rumoured to have been a bin man, and he was supposed to have worked for the council. Throughout the 80s though, he was known to be working as a cleaner at the Marylebone Opticians in Brom Road, which is also in Worthing. He first appeared in the early 60s with his amazing outfits to dazzle the public. Back then he rode a vintage motorbike. This, however, used to burn his +4s, which he was famous for wearing, So not an ideal situation, and the bike disappeared, to be replaced by a push bike. In his later years, some accounts suggest that he could be rather rude and offensive to passers-by. It is speculated now that he may have been suffering from a form of dementia. He is, however, warmly remembered as a true character and a local personality, as he happily waved at and welcomed traffic into town. We don't have enough people like Horace these days. The world could do with more eccentrics in my mind. Sadly, Horace passed away in 1995, and now we just have pictures to remember him by. So Horace would have worked this kind of area and waved at people from here, would he?
Definitely, I'm sure he would have been in South Street, and certainly we would have seen him down at the pier.
At the pier, which is just behind us.
Yeah.
The pier is, there's the entrance to the pier over there.
Yeah. I used to stand on or near that roundabout, the cars slowly going around with his bicycle, waving at everyone. Because he used to have a vintage motorbike, but apparently he stopped using it because it burnt his +4s. So really?
He went to a bicycle, yes. So
I never saw him with a motorbike. I don't remember him with a motorbike.
Apparently this was in the 60s, because he started in the 60s,
right,
kind of doing his thing.
I just remember with his bicycle, always there, +4s and bicycles.
Yeah. And
his straw boater.
Yes. Did he actually, because I mean, we came about this conversation, Burlington Bertie you think of in a penguin suit and a top hat. Did he ever actually used to wear that outfit as well? Or was he more of a straw boater? Because he had quite bright glasses, didn't he?
You're talking over 50 years ago here.
Sorry, sorry. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, foggy at that distance. I know exactly, I'm foggy at 50 days.
I'm thinking more tweed. I don't really remember him dressing up like that. It was much more sort of tweed, boater, +4s, that sort of thing. So.
We're just looking at this wonderful building that used to have a tea room above it. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. It just shows you in amongst all this 70s and 80s dross, some original, wonderful architecture survives. Look at that, beautiful, built with pride.
Where the scaffolding is the old ship, and that's built to look like the back end of a ship.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. And if we pan up to the crow's nest above us, there's a chap on lookout with his telescope. So, where next, young man?
Where next? That's my father's old shop, just over there next door to the Edinburgh Woolen Mills on the left. So this is, my father was a manager of a jewellers called W. Wright Limited, long since been absorbed into actually Goldsmiths, I believe, who I think have no, it's now Hines, that was Goldsmiths. Everything changes its name. Doesn't it? It's now a Tony and Guy. The shop front, everything has been completely changed. That was a rather nice 30s style, and it had all the lovely wood inside. And
did it tick as you walked in with the clocks and things?
Yeah, the long arcades. We had a long arcade going in with the window, obviously maximum window space.
Gotcha.
And then all the oak finishings, light oak finishings inside, and a big sweeping staircase at the back.
Oh wow!
With the workshop underneath, where I used to change watch glasses and put on.
Did you? With a little machine with the claws on it.
Little thing with the claws on it, and put all the spring lugs to put all the.
Yeah. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the ever wonderful pier. So why have we come here, Nigel? What's to see?
Well, this
was from the pier.
This was one of the other sites that he used to stand. To see Horace on his bike. There was a different sort of roundabout there, and he'd either stand on the roundabout or just in front of the pier and wave at the passers-by.
So in front of that roundabout there, or just over there where we're looking now?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go and stand there.
Just across.
Without getting killed, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a good idea. So here I am, stood in front of the pier in Worthing, in a spot where Horace would have stood waving at the traffic from here. Hello everybody! gentlemen, it has been a fantastic day here with Nigel.
Glorious.
It was a bit too short because of bus problems back in Glastonbury, but we won't go into that here. But I've had a lovely time. We've given you the watch, which you love.
Oh, fabulous.
Absolutely. We just had a phone call with Jeff as well, video call, which was nice, so that these guys can meet each other properly. And thank you for showing me around, and thank you for the Horace Duke. That was really interesting. I'm going to put a few more bits of information about Horace Duke in the video, so if I sound intelligent, it's because I've read about them and I've put them on afterwards, okay? I'll just mention that now. But for now, Nigel, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Good to meet you at last.
Showing me around what was your hometown, and I'm off to my hotel in a minute, and you're off to drive all the way back to where you come from. It's about an hour and a half away.
In Kent, yes.
In Kent, yes, which is that. So, thank you very much for coming out with us today. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one. So for now, bye-bye.
Bye.